Nerd to the Third Power presents Fools Who Ride. The Dreamstone, Part 6.
Hey guys, what's going on? You are listening to Nerd to the Third Power's Fools Who Ride, the Dreamstone, an actual D&D 5th edition play podcast. I am your game master, and I am way too energetic for this time of day. Mike the Birdman from ThisWeekInGeek.net and TerribleWarriors.com, and we are on our way to a pirate island. That's right, we are setting forth looking for adventure, mayhem, and perhaps a little bit of love. Who knows? We'll see what happens in this hour of the show. But I'm not alone. I'm, of course, joined by my adventuring party, my crew of fools. I am joined in Baltimore with...
Dr. Gonzo playing Marcus Hawk, a level 3 human knight.
Coming out of Tornado Alley...
I'm Kat. I am playing Lenore Longfellow, a level 3 human plague doctor cleric.
And, of course, coming from the land of fish, chips, cup of tea, and all that other stuff...
I'm Sky Blaze, and I'm playing Alisaria Sunshadow, a female high elf paladin.
And I'm trying to bring the energy this morning because everybody is just waking up. I am overly caffeinated because this episode is brought to you by G Fuel. It's the thing I drink all the time. You should drink it too. Use code FUYA for 10% off. That's a random plug. You're going to have to deal with it. Ha! Let's go. When we last left our adventurers, they were on the ship, the Wily Depths, heading towards the island where Jarrus and his band of thieves, the Thieves Guild, typically likes to party and live where they can pretty much rule without worrying about the Cambridge city guard getting in their way. So, you've all taken a few hours of rest, so all spells are restored, hit points, etc., etc. The morning sun is just cresting over the ocean of the Sea of Swords, and it's a very, very pleasant morning. Captain Thera is already on the deck of the ship, quietly having a cup of tea. And is anybody going to go join her? Are you just coming out of your bunks, or what are you going to be doing?
I guess I'll join her up on the deck. I want to see if I can't get a look at the island through the binoculars as we approach.
Okay.
I will join as well.
I will when I finish my prayer ritual.
Yeah, same. As soon as I'm finished morning prayer, I will go up.
Perfect. So as you ascend the stairs onto the deck, you can see the deck crew getting things ready. There's an air of not quite tension in the air, but not quite relaxation either. Basically, people are ready. I guess Captain Thera has kind of given them the lowdown. Trouble could happen. Be ready for it. So you look out with your binoculars, spyglass, towards the island. You can see this huge wooden, you see a bunch of huge wooden structures, which are probably warehouses, other places like barracks and food stores, houses. They look kind of ramshackle, but you see a rather nice looking, house, like a big stone house on the top of a hill overlooking everything. You can see their docks are quite active this morning. You can see a lot of people out on the beach, a lot of them not moving. You presume they're passed out from last night's festivities. You can see the remains of a bonfire as well. And on the sea breeze, you can ever so slightly catch the whiff of something being cooked. So you are getting close.
Okay.
Captain Thera looks at you and says, "Well, good morning. How are you?"
As ready as I'll ever be for this little escapade.
Well, I suspect Jarrus should be in fine form this morning. She takes out her spyglass, looks along the beach. I see most of his goons probably partied themselves out last night, so I wouldn't expect a lot of trouble out of the common rabble. But he tends to keep his generals in line. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. She also points to the shoreline. You see several longboats docked. She says, "I would suspect there's probably boats on the other side of the island, so we're definitely not alone." She also says, if you want to take a look through your spyglass again, She points again towards the beach, noticing not every person on the beach is dressed in kind of commoner clothes. You see a few people dressed a little bit fancier than the rest. She says, my guess is those are probably some Ordo laborer class. So we've got company here. So this morning should be interesting to say the very least. So we should be
Okay.
docking within probably the next half hour or less.
Okay. Well, I guess now's as good a time as any to go over our plan one more time.
Right. Do we want to make this sort of a sneaking in mission? Try to be a little surreptitious about our entry onto the shore?
I think the general idea was we'd pass ourselves off as part of the crew here. Try and
Yeah.
speak to Jareth and convince him to turn on his erstwhile compatriot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What was the sorcerer's name again? Parda?
Para.
Para.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's our priority. Just for shits and grins, I'm gonna take another look through my binoculars and ask the captain if maybe she sees Para out there and might be able to point him out to me before we get to shore.
She takes another look over the shoreline. She kind of grins and goes, I don't see anybody. All I see is a lot of drunk, bloody idiots, unfortunately.
Well,
What
I mean,
about the other gentleman, the assassin Farn, I believe his name was?
I don't see Farn on the beach, but given this time of day, he's probably up at the house with Jareth. They typically go over the plan for the day and the whatever other business they have to conduct. They typically hold their meetings first thing in the morning. That's why typically his generals are sharp-eyed first thing in the morning.
well, I was hoping he'd drunk with the rest of the skunks, but I guess our luck's not that good.
So, the ship begins to approach. Captain Thera says, well, we'll take one of the longboats to shore. At least this way it's a quick exit if we need it. And we will see what happens. She leaves the boat in charge with her first mate. And you board the boat with Thera. And she, with a couple of random crew members, begins rowing the boat ashore. After a couple of minutes, you start cutting through the water, approach the shoreline, and nobody's there to greet you. Like I said, you just see dozens of orcs just passed out on the beach. A couple of humans, few dwarves there. A whole mishmash of kind of races. Not too many humans, though.
Not too many humans. Cool. Since I'm thinking that somebody may already know who we are and what we look like, I'm actually gonna take off my mask for the first time since we've come to town, and take off my coat and wrap my coat into my bag basically, and have my mask sort of just tucked away somewhere so that I can easily pull it out if I need it. But this is me making a disguise for myself, is just looking like a normal person.
Okay, so hiding in plain sight. Okay.
Yes.
I wish I had something I could hide my face with, but
There's just you have a cloak with a hood.
I have fine clothes in my inventory. So, Mike, would there be a cloak or something with a hood that I could put on? Okay, then I will put on my cloak and hood.
Now, are you all? Now, if you saying you have fine clothes, are you changing into those fine clothes? Are you going out of your armor and just going into your civvies, or what are you doing?
Well, I'm hoping to put just the cloak and hood on over my armor.
Okay, all right, that happens. Okay. So while you guys are playing dress up, or in one case dress down, you arrive at shore. So you start walking up the beach. A couple of the people kind of grunt at you and kind of wave hello and whatnot before they pass back out onto the beach. And you start making your way through the through the pirate village. Activity does seem to pick up as you get more and more in the town. You're guessing there's probably a couple of hundred people here at least. There are pirate families here, from what you can tell. You see men and women going about their day to day. You see children kind of playing in the streets, trying
Crap.
hard not to get into the way of people, loading stuff into warehouses and moving stuff around. And I presume you're heading straight towards Jairus's house.
Well, we're following Thera, I think. So I think she's leading the way.
Yep. So Thera leads you through the streets, and eventually you climb this massive hill, and you arrive at this pretty stately looking place. You're guessing this place was probably built by Fireforged dwarves as a thank you, or perhaps under orders of Jairus. And it's elaborate. It looks almost as stately as the Kilsh place. So you walk inside, there's like huge marble floors, and you can see servants kind of running around, or slaves, you're not even entirely sure. Thera walks in the front hallway, kind of looks around for a minute, and she just kind of bellows, "Jairus, are you awake?" It echoes throughout the hallways, and you hear a hearty laugh come from the other end of the hallway. And you hear, "Thera, you old bitch! Come on in!"
Rude.
And Thera turns around to you guys, kind of spins on her heel, goes, "Well, I guess he'll see us now." So she leads you down the hallway, and you're passing by rooms that are just filled literally with treasure and weapons, and you can just tell Jairus hasn't organized probably his latest raid yet. Hasn't been sorted yet.
Mm-hmm. Might be worth pilfering a few things on our way out if possible.
And eventually you're led into Jairus's, what would be considered his war room. You see a huge table with sort of a map of the Sword Coast. It goes all the way up towards Waterdeep. You can see various points of interest in it. You can see Cambridge is on there, the Cloakwood, the island you're on. You can see ships in their different positions and whatnot. And you see Jairus in there, and you see a man sitting in the corner, another human. And he definitely fits the bill of a guy who looks like a rat. Kind of sitting over there. He's quietly eating what looks to be some kind of a porridge or an oatmeal or something. And Jairus greets Thera. They shake hands. They do this elaborate handshake and kind of give each other a punch in the shoulder. And he goes, "Thera." Okay, go ahead.
Mike, real quick, I want to make a perception check to look at the other gentleman's teeth. We were told that Para had kind of a set of oversized choppers, so I want to see if this guy matches that description.
Yep.
Since he's eating, I guess I should get at least a good look at his front teeth. So, 15. And,
oh wait, it's him.
Okay, so that's our mark.
There is no mistaking it. So, Jairus and Thera both sit down across from each other in the map. Para's over in the corner, just kind of eating his breakfast. And he goes, "Thera, what brings you to my door this morning?" And she goes, "Well, as you can guess, I'm always looking for work of some type. And, well, since we haven't run afoul of each other in the last little bit, I assumed, maybe things are looking pretty good for us to do maybe a little bit of a cargo run. Though I notice you're still keeping shitty company. You and your Weasley friend over there." He kind of sneers at her. "So, I've decided to bring some new associates into the fold. I might be starting a second ship in the next little bit." And Thera points over to you three. "And this is the crew I'm currently training. They're under my wing. They're young, eager, and of course, always looking for more gold. So, what say maybe we could show these people around, show how we do things out on the high seas, and maybe teach them a little bit of the business while we're at it." Jairus kind of has a laugh, looks you all up and down. So what am I to do with two young girls and this whelp of a boy? Just out of curiosity. He kind of looks up and down at Arisha, and he kind of looks at you. He goes, "What's your story, girl? You don't exactly look like you're of the pirate life, if you don't mind me saying."
A few years ago, you might have been right. Unfortunately, some miscreants invaded my father's lands. There's very little left of it now. And, well, we all need food on the table, right?
He kind of pokes you in the ribs. He goes, "Well, you're definitely not wrong about that." He walks towards Lenore. And you're a half elf or an elf, aren't you?
I'm a human.
Okay, you're a human. Okay. He kind of looks at you. He goes, "You're a pretty young thing. Why would you want to do this, if you don't mind me asking?"
Every ship needs a doctor. And I need the money.
Too
It's
true.
quite simple, really.
Too many people get sick of scurvy and worse. Or if they pick up some disease in port, if you catch my drift. And he walks over to Marcus. He goes, "You're a strong-looking lad. Farm boy?"
Nope. Former military officer.
"Oh, you're a highfalutin one, aren't you? Well then, officer. What makes you think you can plunder the land as well as... Or sorry, what makes you think you can plunder the sea as well as you plunder the land?"
Oof.
Oh, I'm pretty well traveled. I've got my sea legs. Don't you worry about me. And I've got a
He looks
strong
at
sword,
Thera.
and I've got a strong sword arm too.
He looks over at Thera and goes, "Well, I guess they'll do. They might survive maybe a season out at sea. Maybe two. I think the boy will make an excellent crab fisher." He looks at the two girls. "Oh, the one's a doctor. She'll be useful. I don't know about... I don't know so much about the other one. But we'll see. We always need more cooks."
Are there any weapons or anything around? Or like a stick?
There's a dagger in the table that's stuck into a location up on the map.
I'll extract it and do some Ponzi maneuvers with it.
Bouncy maneuvers.
Well,
Showing off a bit.
Jareth looks at you, kind of has a smirk, and I imagine you cut a fine onion too. But that is some fancy knife work. I can appreciate that. You might catch a man unaware with that. Good work.
I usually
So-
prefer slightly larger weapons than this. I'll smirk at him.
He has a hearty laugh at that, so he sits back down. He goes, "Well, Thera, I'd love to take on your crew right now. In fact, things are going to be changing in the next little bit, you might say, in the city of Grand Ole Cambridge. I'm not sure how much longer the Kilsh family should be in charge of things." Thera kind of perks up her ears at that. She's like, "Oh, really? Well, what do you mean?" "Well, might be a new power in town." And Jarrus kind of pops his collar a little bit on his shirt.
What a
He's
douche.
like, "Look, I stand to make a substantial amount of coin in all this. Looks like the eldest son of the Kelsh family isn't liking how dear old dad is running things. And, well, I like to back a winning horse. So, we'll see how the son Neslo deals with his father in the next little bit."
That's odd, because last rumor I heard was that he'd been locked up.
Excuse me?
He went berserk during the Harvest Festival, and he was locked up.
He looks over at Paris, sorry, and goes, "Oh, really? and you didn't seem fit to tell me this. Para looks a little bit nervous at that. He's like, well, you see, you were over here doing everything else, sir, and
There was also
Um,
something about a demon.
Yeah, I
A
heard that
demon?
same rumor.
Hmm.
Really powerful demon came out of that Neslo boy or whatever his name is.
Bad business if it's true.
Yeah. Don't want to mess with demons.
No way.
Jarrus kind of strolls over to Para, knocks his breakfast out of his hand, and goes, I have a network of spies. They report to you. And you didn't see fit to tell me that, oh, I don't know, big fucking scary demon came out of one of our most important contacts. That just slipped your fucking mind. Para's kind of shaking a little bit. He's like, well, you see, there's been some complications, but it's going to work in our favor. The demon they speak of, you see, he's all in on all this, sir. He wants to see you get Cambridge. He's like, in what level of the 9 hells is a demon going to help me? I've got no interest in this. I just want Cambridge. I want to rule the streets without ever laying a finger on them. And you've got me dealing with infernals? Just look, the time for this argument is not now. I will talk to you later. So go get your network of spies out there and find out what the fuck is happening in Cambridge. I want answers. And I want them by dinner time. Otherwise, I'm going to cut you and gut you like a fish on tonight's bonfire on the beach. You get me? Para kind of slinks away out of the room with his back facing the door so he can see Jarrus the whole time as he exits the room. Jarrus sits back down with Thera and goes, well, that certainly complicates things. Huh. He kind of takes the dagger that you were doing your fancy maneuvers with, picks it up, whips it at a wall. You know how hard it is to find good help these days?
On a somewhat related note, Master Jarrus, that gentleman that you were just speaking with, he seems somewhat familiar. Might I inquire the gentleman's name?
His name is Para. He's my master of spies and one of my more skilled people I have around me.
I seem to recall seeing his face on a few wanted posters back on the mainland. It's a sizable reward for his capture, dead or alive.
Well, he is extremely useful to me. He does keep me informed of what goes on in Cambridge and does have an ear to the ground in the kingdom of Ordo as well.
Seems like he's not been doing a terribly good job of it if he missed rumors like those, though.
And involving demons. I can't imagine getting your soul sucked out through your nostrils being good for business.
No, believe me, I want to have a word with him, but I also do want to give him a chance to prove himself as well. I'll give him till the end of the day. Beyond that, I'm pretty sure he won't be among the living for too much longer. Maybe I'll animate his corpse and have him bring me breakfast for the next week until it rots away. Jarrus.
Pardon my asking, but are you a necromancer? Not that that's a deal breaker or anything.
Oh no, but I've got a few. I got a few magic users here among us. In fact, got a lot of magic on the island right now. We got a bunch of Ordo people coming in, picking up their latest. And he stops himself short. He looks over at Thera of willing participants, you might say. Thera kind of looks disgusted at this. And Jarrus says, what? They're willing in the fact that they sell themselves to me. The money goes back to their families. They're fully willing participants. They can buy themselves out at a later date, I'm sure.
I'm going to cast a surreptitious glance to Alisaria to see, make sure she's not about to go berserk.
Twitch. I twitch. I'm fine.
But as you can gather, the business of the day is going to take me away. So Thera, you have full reign of the island. You know where everything is. If you require anything else, I should be here for the next little while.
Well, I think he's told us pretty much everything we need to know about his involvement in this.
Mm-hmm. He is here purely for the money.
Yeah, and the fact that he didn't know about the demon tells me he probably also doesn't know anything about the Dreamstone.
Maybe.
Or maybe he would just, as far as he's concerned, it's just a pretty trinket.
Possibility. Before he departs, I wanna put one last question to Jarrus, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
One last question, Jarrus, about your work on Cambridge. We have not visited the city yet, so we just looking to follow up on some rumors that we've heard as we were coming in that some sort of madness has overtaken the town. Something about a relic of the village being stolen. Do you know anything about that?
He goes, I've heard rumors about it, nothing concrete. I just assumed stresses of city life were getting to people. I mean, a city like this can't grow that rapidly and not expect something to break at the seams at some point. Kilsh and his lady do their best, but there's something going on there. And as for the bouts of madness, some of my crew that do decide to stay in the city do seem a little unhinged if they spend any significant amount of time there. I just assumed they're not among their own kind.
Okay.
Or maybe they've got into a bad batch of ale.
That's another possibility we've considered. We do occasionally run some items of questionable morality into the city, and if they're getting drunk off their own supply, that wouldn't surprise me either, truthfully.
Okay, and Mike, can I make can I leverage my persuasion skill to kind of try and determine if he might be, if he's being entirely truthful with us, or if he might be just kind of hiding something from us?
That's more of an investigation insight, and I think, what's that fall under? Kat, you might know this one.
It's an insight check.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Which I don't have a proficiency in. Oh well, he who dares wins.
Yeah, give it a shot.
5. That's not going to tell me anything.
You're pretty sure he's telling the truth. You've got no reason to not believe him. But that's also just your insight. Anybody else in the group could take a kind of shot at it as well.
I'll roll an insight check to see if I think he doesn't know anything about the Dreamstone. Well, that's not great either. 11.
Let me try. Come on, dice. Aha! That was 15, so 15 plus 3. 17.
You're pretty sure he's full of shit. He's probably letting on a lot more that... You're pretty sure he knows a lot more. Just something about the way he inflected his tone. He kind of... Something about his body language suggests that he's not being entirely truthful.
Okay.
I feel like if we press him for any more information, we might be showing our hand. All right, might be worth it to just wander around a bit and just try and get a feel for the land, see if we might be able to get Para isolated. I don't know. What do you two think?
Yeah, I think we'll have a look around, see if we can find the sorcerer and have a quiet word.
All right, so Thera leads you back outside of Jarrus's room, and you're basically out in the estate. She goes, well, did you find what you were looking for, guys?
That man was lying.
Oh, he does that quite often, and often well. But yeah, something seemed a little off about Jairus this morning.
The sorcerer that was with him. That's the man we're looking for.
I've seen him around a few times. I'm not totally familiar with him myself. But if he is with the Ordo people, then my guess is he's on the other side of the island with probably the other longboat, with the other ships. So, if he's headed that way, we might be able to catch him as he's going through the forest.
That might be our best bet. Is there a lot of foot traffic through the forest? Chance that we might be spotted or run across?
Possibly, there's always going to be somebody moving cargo or moving supplies back and forth. But if you're quick and quiet, you should be able to get him alone.
I look at 3 people in heavy armor. Quiet. Yeah.
I attempt to look innocent.
Perhaps stealth will not be our best option here, but
Is there a time that we know he'll be alone?
she kind of throws up her hand and says, well, I don't know the man's schedule, but, well, everybody has to take a piss sometime.
Yeah, camping out the latrines doesn't seem like a very efficient plan.
Not a very sanitary plan, I assure you.
Well, we could just follow him and watch him. He's bound to be alone at some point. We just gotta find him first.
Right. Out of curiosity, how bad off would the city be if Jairus and his men took it? I'm just curious.
Well, Jairus doesn't like to see suffering of women and children, so he's got that going for him. The city's businesses would likely have to pay protection, no different than taxes.
Air quotes.
Things on the surface may be okay. Things internally, I'm not so sure about. I spent enough time in Cambridge to know that I probably don't blend. I wouldn't necessarily blend in. Jairus wouldn't be the worst person to be in charge, at least power behind the throne, so to speak, if you kind of catch my meaning. If he were to outright rule the city, then I don't know. His gang is worse than he is. They follow him out of fear. He's more than a capable swordsman, and potentially something else I don't know. I've only seen the man in combat once or twice.
So are we looking at a kind of a cut off the head and the body will die situation here?
Well, I could see the gangs falling apart themselves quite quickly if they don't kill each other first, yes.
All right, so it sounds like taking out Jairus as a secondary objective while we're here. But Para still remains the priority, that and finding the Dreamstone.
I don't want to upset the political balance of this city more than we have to.
I don't think killing him is really a task we should take upon us.
Especially given how outnumbered we are here.
Yeah, there's no chance we win a fight here.
Para is in disgrace enough that if he should have meet with an unfortunate accident, it probably wouldn't trigger an all-out war. Same can't be said.
Well then, I guess let's trail the sorcerer.
Okay, so you exit Jairus' estate and you start walking down the hill towards the pirate village. Everybody give me an investigation roll. Let's see if you can figure out where this guy might go, and I'll roll for Thera as well. Like I said, he's likely headed back towards the ships, but...
What was it, investigation?
Yes. Thera rolled a 5, so...
Okay.
That's off intelligence.
Okay, so I rolled a 15 with a +2, my intelligence modifier. That's 17.
Okay. Anybody get
Uh,
higher than that?
Oh, wait,
18.
now, okay, so all right, quick question about how skill checks work. So, okay, I got my investigation skill, I've got a +2, and then we got a +2 intelligence modifier. Do I take both of those or just one?
Just one.
Just the
'Cause
investigate.
yeah, the investigation comes off your intelligence.
Okay, all right. Then yeah, 17.
Okay. Anybody get higher than that?
No.
18.
Okay, so between Marcus and Alarisha, you're
Alisari.
able.
Alisaria.
Sorry. I keep wanting to call you alopecia too, and that's a condition you don't want.
No.
Alisaria, sorry. So Alisaria and Marcus are able to kind of figure out. Well, he's probably going to go back and tell his men, "There's trouble, guys. Maybe we should consider getting out of here." So he's likely going to be headed back to wherever the Ordo ships are docked. And Thera tells you, well, if you follow one of the main paths, you should be able to track them through the forest. It is trafficked, but this time of day, it might be fairly light because people are just getting up. So, yeah. So, you start walking towards the path, and you do see a bunch of half-orcs carrying boxes and crates. Some of them are carrying big bunches of banana and barrels of, like, pickled fish and whatnot. All sorts of stuff. And you do see the man you saw in Jairus' house walking with a group of about 3 people who are dressed in these rather elaborate red robes. They seem to be engaged in some kind of an argument.
Okay.
And it's in a language that none of you speak.
Okay. All right.
So you guys are following probably about 100 feet back, but you're on an open path. If he turns around, he's going to see you. The walk towards the Ordo ships should take about 20 minutes.
And aside from the 3 of us and the 3 of them, is there anybody else on the path?
You see a few people every couple minutes. They're just kind of loading supplies, but their eyes are straight forward, like they don't even pay you any attention.
Yeah, that'll change if swords come out.
There's 4 of us. Thera's with us.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh God. What should we do?
If there weren't people around us, I would say let's risk the combat, try and take out his 2 escorts and interrogate Para. But with people around, that'll complicate things.
Is there a clear view from here to where the ships are?
No, it is obscured by trees.
That's because otherwise I'd say we just like park here as though we're just having to pull out and watch where he goes, and then we'll see if we can. I mean, we're out in the open, and that's not ideal. If we can get him in an enclosed space, say on a ship or in a house, we'd have a better of not attracting.
Yeah. Of course, if there's a chance that he's realized that he's falling out of Jairus' good graces and might be trying to make a break for it. If those gentlemen that are with him are Ordo people, he might be trying to book passage off the island to the kingdom.
We could have just like saunter up and say, "So, making deals with demons, are we?" And see how his compatriots react to that.
Subtle.
I'm a paladin. I wield a greatsword. What do you want?
Yeah, that's a point. Our options are kind of limited.
Let's I think we should hang back a little further, let him get a little further ahead, and then keep following, kind of quiet-like, even though we are all people in heavy armor and cannot actually stealth very well.
Well, since we know roughly where he's going, can't we just, like, cut through the brush and take a different route?
Would it look more suspicious if we were found in the woods?
I mean, if anything else, we could say that we were looking to see if there was any game to hunt. I've got a crossbow, so you know.
Yeah, it seems like a weak excuse. Why don't we just?
If these woods are, if this is a heavily trafficked island, it's only small, and it's anything like the woods near where I grew up. I'm saying this in and out of character simultaneously. There'll be lots of different tracks through the woods because people, for some reason, hate to take the same path. So we can probably just find, like, a branching path somewhere and just take a different route.
Honestly, these guys are all magic users. I don't know if I want to take my eyes off them.
I think they might, teleport somewhere?
I don't know. We don't know how powerful they are, what
True.
abilities they might have.
Which is a point against us trying to take them on without that knowledge.
They could be disguising themselves. There's a lot of things that magic users can do.
Well, for all we know, one of them could be possessed by a aforementioned demon.
Again, another excellent thought.
Well, I mean, sounds like we're back to where we currently are, which is just following behind and seeing where he goes and hoping he's not making a break for it.
We were given run of the island. If somebody sees us, it's just us taking a tour. If we come out of the woods looking sneaky, that's suspicious.
Suppose that's true. Well then, since we've been given run of the island, let's see if we might be able to overtake him and get to the, just kind of pass him by and get to the docks before him.
Sarah, do you think you can do a bit of a kind of like, and here are the wonders of this island, and here is the ship, and so on and so forth? Give it a bit of veracity?
Thera kind of gives you a chuckle. She goes, yeah, sure. I can dress it up. Sure. Why not?
Is this a thing where new recruits might actually go to these docks? Is that fairly normal?
She goes, well, depending on how you arrive in the hold or on the deck, yeah, it's not unusual for new people to say, well, if you don't behave, you're going towards this end of the island and your stay won't be entirely pleasant. There are slave barracks over here.
Uh-oh.
Deep breaths. All right. Let's do that then. Just fly casual.
All right, Han Solo. So, as you overtake them, you can hear them still. The argument is kind of quieted down a little bit. Para notices you as you walk past, but Thera's kind of dressing it up as she walks by. Like, oh yeah, this is the path where we take the new recruits and show you where you end up. If you don't end up in the stockade, this is where you end up, and usually it's your last stop.
I'll do my best to look suitably concerned by this.
After about 15 minutes of walking down the pathway, you emerge. You see a couple of dilapidated-looking houses. You can tell they're filled with all sorts of people that aren't necessarily kept in the best condition, but they're unloading the ships for other people to come take gear. You see 3 rather large ships docked there. They look immaculate. They look even better than Thera's ship. They're flying these huge, gigantic red sails, and there are people on the deck dressed very similar to the people that are with Para.
I think we found the Ordo ships.
I would say so.
And Thera kind of gives this theatrical hand gesture and says, and this is where new customers tend to come in. These are ships from the kingdom of Ordo, a kingdom that values magic and prowess over martial skill. A few of the Ordo people kind of look at her whenever she says that, and she's like, oh, you know it's true. You're shit with swords. And that concludes this part of the tour. If you want to follow me, we'll go back, get ourselves some grog and some good old grub, and we'll see what else we can get ourselves into trouble. And she goes, I don't know what else you guys want to do. I've kind of run out of ideas.
We still need to intercept Para. Somewhere where we can do what it needs doing without attracting a whole bunch of attention. Is he around? Is Para around? Has he caught up to us?
He hasn't emerged yet from the woods.
Okay. I want to take a look around and see if there might be any points where we might be able to ambush Para and kind of drag him into somewhere dark where we can have a nice private chat.
Actually, yes. Just off of the path, on the left and right side, there are cargo kind of pickup areas where they stack crates, boxes, and barrels. And the area they're stacked 3 or 4 crates high, and definitely probably about 15 deep, because a lot of cargo comes through. And the area is not guarded at all. They're just put there. People come, regular pirates come through, pick up the stuff, and kind of keep it moving. Though for the last few minutes, nobody's come to pick up any sort of cargo.
Okay. So I'm thinking we duck into one of those alcoves and then wait for Para to pass. Then when he does, we do a Master Para, there's something you need to see. And then when he comes back to investigate, we clock him across the head.
I thought the idea was a good fun try and get information out of it, not senseless. But otherwise, fairly decent idea.
Again, we need to separate him from his compatriots. How do we know he won't drag one of his compatriots?
We don't, but I can't come up with... I don't have any better ideas.
We're gonna have to take a chance.
Okay.
Okay.
So, everybody give me a stealth check to hide.
And every one of us is at disadvantage with checks because we all wear heavy armor.
Except for Thera.
Except for Thera.
He's got leather armor. 19, motherfucker!
Yeah, disadvantage sucks, guys.
Timora has blessed me. I've rolled a nat 20 and a 17.
Well,
I
Oh,
rolled a 6, so
3.
Clang, clang, clang. People kind of look at you, but they're like, okay. Although they see Marcus go in there, you kind of give them a wink because they see you're with 2 women. They kind of assume. Or sorry, you were 3 women, so they're like, oh, good for him. And that's how it goes.
well.
Please don't take objection to that. I just think it's funny. So anyway, all 4 of you are hidden in the alcoves of the barrels and the crates and whatnot. And after another couple of minutes, you see the 2 gentlemen that were with Para pass by, and Para in the rear of those 2, looking particularly displeased.
Okay. So I'm going to employ my persuasion skill to put on my best chav voice, like, Master Para, there's a problem here. We need you just to have a look at this, or something like that.
You should never ever do accents.
All right.
And this dice is hot. I just rolled a nat 20.
He looks at you. He's like, fine. And he comes in, and you've basically got him surrounded. He's like, what? What do you want?
I'm gonna cut off, step round so I can cut off his way out and be like, we'd like a word about the demon.
Demon? Who are you to be questioning me?
A person with a big sword.
Oh. Oh. Well, that changes things, now doesn't it?
Okay, now I'm going to employ my intimidation skill, because I got a +4 proficiency on that. And let him know we know that he's involved with the demon in Cambridge, and we'd like him to tell us about Clovis and the Dreamstone. And it would behoove him to be truthful.
Thera kind of draws her longsword. He goes, "Pal, you just fucked up real bad. You better talk to these nice people."
Okay, so I rolled a 12 with a +4. That's 16.
So Para, his demeanor completely changes from one of anger and aggression to, "Oh God, please don't hurt me." So he puts his back up against the one of the crates. It's like, "Look, I'm
Where's
just
Clovis?
Let him talk.
look I look, man, I will tell you exactly where he is. Just for the love of God, don't hurt me. Not in the face."
Oh, we're not
I'll,
going to start in the face.
I'll kind of like start playing good cop and be like, one hand on the shoulder, gently. I'm sure the good gentleman will be only too happy to tell us everything we need to know.
Well, yeah. It it's it's complicated.
And I cast
Well.
Zone of Truth.
Start from the beginning.
Okay.
Uh,
So
Please, would you mind rolling a Charisma 12 saving throw, please?
I
For
will
my
do
Zone
my
of Truth.
best. Yeah, he rolled a 9, so you're good.
Yes. Sweet. He has to tell the truth.
So he's like, "Okay, where do I start?" Well, ordinarily enough, I am one of the more proficient sorcerers who has the gift of gab, if you will. I know how to talk to people. I know how to get things done. And Clovis was one of the people who came to the kingdom seeking assistance. And, well, the powers that be at Ordo didn't think it was a great idea. I thought it was stupid that they would turn down such an offer from such a prosperous, growing city. So I kind of made a few deals under the table, and we kind of had a tentative agreement. Things were going well. Then something changed, and Clovis wanted me to help him steal something from Cambridge. I thought it would be a threat to the tentative deal that was going on, because everybody was going to benefit once we could show it off. We could say, "Hey, we did this without your knowledge, but look how great it's working out." And, well, myself, and another gentleman named Farn, Jarrus's right-hand man, we kind of stole the Dreamstone.
Where is it?
It is deep in the woods just outside of Cambridge in a place known as the Cloakwood. I can draw it on a map if you show me.
Do so.
Okay. He's only too happy to do so. He's like, "You go here, you go here. Should take you about a day and a half to get there. Be careful, lots of spiders, haunted forest. Very scary stuff. Oh, you'll be fine."
Where's the demon figure into this?
Well, as you know, Clovis's family has joined the choir invisible. And, well, he decided he didn't like that. So he took the only thing of value that he knew was available to him. And he intends to bring his family back one way or another.
So if I'm reading him right, Jarvis is only 10. Alice Skyblaze is right. Jarvis is only tangentially related to this whole thing.
Oh, Jarrus, ultimately he just wants money and the ship to run as smoothly as it possibly can. But if that means a few teeth get knocked in, he's okay with that.
Okay,
Jarrus
that
really
observation is
isn't a bad
technically out of
guy.
character, but okay. All right, you guys, you two have any other questions that you want to ask him?
Tons. What was the... Can you finish explaining the timeline of everything?
Well, Clovis came to visit me about a few months ago in Ordo, and we started talking more and more as Cambridge started asking for more and more assistance, and Ordo kept saying no. This was about 3 or 4 months ago. So I have known Clovis for quite some time. He then came to see me about a month and a half ago when things got a little bit strange. That's after his family was killed. So that's that particular instance. He the demon he wanted to contact got started. Well, how do I begin to explain this? Because this is where Clovis needed me in particular. He started asking me to help him confer with these otherworldly beings about yeah, about a month and a half ago. Although that wasn't the beginning of the strange goings on in Cambridge. That started 2 months ago.
Right about when the ground was broken on the crypt.
Other than that, that's about how I recollect things.
And you agreed to all of this demon stuff. Why exactly?
Well, I was hoping that the Kingdom of Ordo would eventually see the error of their ways. And it's... Yes, I know it's a powerful demon lord, but they only have dominion so long as they have a basis of power. That we can yank that away whenever we want. They feed on our fear. They feed on superstition. They feed on basically ignorance. If we're the smartest guys in the room, what have we got to worry about?
If you're the smartest
throw it
guy in
back
the
in the
room,
hole.
if you're the smartest guy in the room, then everybody else is in trouble.
I do not deny this. Wait. Yeah, I don't deny this.
Okay, so out of character, what do we want to do with this guy?
I would like to ask him very kindly, where is Clovis now?
Clovis is likely at the temple in the woods, probably with the other people he's gathered to his cause. And yeah, he's probably trying to raise his family, or has been for at least the last little bit.
Yeah, how many followers does he have?
Oh, I don't know, probably about 50 or 60, give or take.
Oh, Lord.
A human
God.
followers?
Well, I'm pretty sure most of them are dead.
Okay, yeah, sure. Dead.
Pazuzu,
Dead or undead? That's an
undead.
important distinction.
Yeah, undead, if I had to guess. He's like, well, we did bring in a bunch of laborers to help excavate the ruins, so I imagine they're all dead.
Oh, my Lord.
Or now serve him in a different capacity. So Paris, once again, kind of looks around. He still looks kind of... He's panicked, a little bit scared. His demeanor's calm, though.
What's going to happen to you after you've told us all of this?
Oh, he'll likely hunt me down and kill me in my sleep. One of the things Pazuzu can do is drive people mad in their dreams, or find another avatar in which to kill me. So I'm going to likely be dead by the end of the day.
All right.
So if we can get you, I suppose getting far away from here wouldn't really help you very much.
Well, the sphere of influence he currently has is rather small, particularly Cambridge and the surrounding area. If I can get out to sea, I should be fine.
In that case, you have a head start. I'd suggest you start running.
I don't know. Do we really want to do that? This guy is working with the slave trade here, supplying slaves to Clovis for ritualistic purposes.
Yes, but he's also been helpful.
Well, I will leave that to your judgment then.
The
Sounds
gods
like-
will judge it. Well, I'm sure the gods will judge him. In due time.
All right, you heard her. Get out of here.
He's like, very well.
Wait. Before anybody leaves, I just want to make it clear, if you tell Pazuzu or any other person that we've talked to you, you will die. Do you understand that?
Yeah, that's the most likely outcome, but maybe I could trade your lives for my own.
You think that's going to go well for you? It will not.
You're more than probably right.
Okay, Mike, just real quick, I want to kind of just cast a quick look around at some of the crates, see if there might be a big heavy one that we might be able to knock him out and hide him in.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Understand that if you try to knock him out, this will incur a fight. Like, you can't just, like, whack him in the back of the head. You actually have to render him unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be us rolling initiative.
3 against 1. Do we want to risk it?
I don't want to get into a fight right now.
No, I think we should just let him run as far as he can, fast as he can, see if he can escape. I doubt he will, to be perfectly honest, but I'll give him a sporting chance.
We can just ask him. He's got the zone of truth up for a few more minutes. Ask him, what are you going to do if we let you go?
Run far. Run as far away as I can. Maybe go back to Ordo, and gonna kind of pretend this never happened and try to kill anybody that might be able to pin this on me. So, presumably, if you adventurers kill Clovis, there's nothing leading back to me. And Jarvis, as far as he knows, I just went home again.
Right. What is Ordo going to do after this? I'm kind of concerned about the politics here now.
Well, if nobody finds out I was selling magical talent to Cambridge, nothing. If they find out I was selling magical Cambridge to talent to Cambridge, I would presume there'll probably be at least a sizable force sent to Cambridge to take back whatever they can, maybe sack the city. Though I don't think they're going to do a whole lot because our army's rather pathetic. Like I said, we're not known for martial skill, but we've got a lot of magic.
You have the gift of the gab. You should really work on your people a little bit more and convincing them that war is not really an option for you guys in Cambridge. But other than that, as long as you're not going to go to war right now, I don't see why we should have to kill him.
Me neither.
I don't like the
Seems a
idea.
bit of a waste. To be honest, it seems like a waste of time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like letting him loose on the chance that he might run back to his masters and cause us problems down the line. But the possibility of war between Ordo and Cambridge right now is a secondary concern to getting the Dreamstone and stopping the demon. So, all right, I'm outvoted. Let's let him go.
He's like, and thank you so much. And he immediately books it into a full run towards one of the ships. You can hear him shouting, all right, anchor up, let's go. Everybody's just kind of looking at him like, okay.
If there's one thing that I trust in this world, it's cowardice.
Quite so.
Yeah, but he's got the right idea. We should probably anchors away as soon as possible back to the mainland before Jarvis realizes something's gone awry and we have more of a fight on our hands than we're already in store for.
Thera goes, this is probably a good idea. I don't think you can probably get too much more out of them here.
No.
I'm bummed that we can't help the slaves, but we can't take much more on our plate right now, and nothing says we can't come back later.
Quite so.
Hopefully, with a fighting force at our backs.
I have every intention of solving the immediate crisis and then coming back for a second go.
That's why I think this whole relationship with Ordo needs to resolve itself. I think that would help the slave trade a little bit, but that's next week's problem.
Yes, problem for
Demons
future
first.
us. Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, guys, so this has been this hour of Nerd the Third Powers, Fools Who Ride the Dreamstone. What will happen next as Captain Thera and her, newly found crewmates decide to get off the island and go hunting Clovis in a temple held deep within the Cloaked Wood? I guess we'll find out what happens next here. So for this edition, I've been joined with the guy in Baltimore,
Dr. Gonzo,
Tornado Alley,
The cat.
Big Ben.
Sky Blaze.
That's right, guys. So we'll catch you again right here on Nerd the Third Powers, the Dreamstone, otherwise known as Fools Who Ride. I fucked that up. It's okay. I rolled a nat 1.